Kings Island is my favorite park of all time. Not only does it have a great atmosphere, it has 14 roller coasters, some of which are the best of their kind. But today, let's put bias aside and look at the stats. How do these rank up in height, speed, length, pacing, and actual ride time? From the end of the lift, or the start of that launch, all the way to the final breaks. These are the coasters of Kings Island, by the numbers. A few disclaimers here. The track length that I show only includes the track where the prime ride time occurs. With the help of Google Maps and the Pythagorean theorem, I was able to take out all the non-prime track. This includes the lift hill, or lift hills in some cases, as well as the final breaks and the station. Any mid-course brake runs were left in, and if the train slows down, then that'll hurt the pacing. In 14th place with 9 seconds is Great Pumpkin Coaster, an E&F Myler kiddie coaster. This is the smallest coaster I've ever looked at in this series, at just 8 feet tall, and the ride ending after just 9 seconds. The ops do send you around a couple times to make it worth your while, but still, this coaster is for the smallest of kids. It ranks last in every category. No shocker there. In 13th place with 28 seconds is Flying Ace Aerial Chase, a Vekoma family suspended hang and bang. This is one of 2 family coasters in the park, on a really small footprint and winding around itself. It's 6 times taller and has triple the ride time of Great Pumpkin Coaster, so it's a pretty big step up. It ranks 11th in height and 12th in pacing, but is second to last only to Great Pumpkin Coaster in speed and length. In 12th place with 33 seconds is the Bat, an Arrow suspended coaster. This has a reputation of being a short ride, and this really backs that up, ranking last among the adult coasters in ride time, and is actually behind one of the family coasters. Despite being a short ride, it's got some rapid fire elements as it seems to work downhill pretty much the entire ride. This gives it a 4th place finish in pacing, and when you mix in the 11th place finish in length, maybe Arrow could have thrown in a few more elements, and the ride would have still been good. It ranks right in the middle in height and speed. In 11th place with 36 seconds is Woodstock Express, a PTC family wooden coaster. It's weird to think that you would get more ride time on Woodstock than the Bat, but here we are. This doesn't have good pacing, ranking just ahead of Great Pumpkin to stay out of last place, and covering ground even slower than Flying Ace. And as you would expect, it's near the bottom in every other category. In 10th place with 38 seconds is Invertigo, a Vekoma inverted boomerang. This is the first time I've ever tried to get stats for a boomerang, so I had to take the track length and double it. But take out the length of the first lift hill, when the train is being pulled up, but still including that piece of track for the first drop. I know, it got kinda weird, but I feel good about the stats. Even with double the track length, it still only ranks 9th, and also is 9th in speed, but it's one of the tallest coasters in the park. At 101.3 feet, it's up in 5th place, and it covers ground pretty well too, ranking 6th. In 9th place with 46 seconds is Mystic Timbers, a GCI wooden coaster. Despite its great layout, it's a short ride, basically an out and back Woody after that first twisted drop. It's right in the middle of the pack when it comes to GCI prime ride time, ranking 13th out of 26, and it's on the lower end at its own park. That being said, it's a super low to the ground fast-paced airtime machine, which makes it my favorite GCI, and puts it in 5th place in pacing, also 5th in length, with solid height and speed ranks in 6th place. In 8th place with 49 seconds is Backlot Stunt Coaster, a Premier Rides launch coaster. No lift hill to worry about here, as it launches you straight into an upward helix, but it does stop you halfway through for a special effects show, along with a fire effect, before going into the indoor section of the ride. Instead of crushing its pacing by keeping that in, I took it out, but the pacing is still not great, ranking 10th. Its speed and length play into that also ranking 10th, and its height is all the way down at 13th, which is not surprising at all. It barely leaves the ground, ranking behind every coaster except for Great Pumpkin. In 7th place with 51 seconds is Orion, a B&M Giga. I figured Orion wouldn't be at the very top, but I did not expect it to be right in the middle. As for the rest of the stats, obviously height and speed. It's got the top spot locked up by 85 feet in height and 11 miles per hour in speed. It's no contest. And because of that awesome speed, Orion is number 1 in pacing, covering more than 17 feet per second faster than the 2nd place coaster. Only when it comes to length, you find it slip a little bit, only ranking 3rd. I don't want to beat a dead horse by saying that Orion could have used a few more elements, but it could have really used a few more elements. But it's still a great ride. In 6th place with 54 seconds is Racer, a PTC racing wooden coaster. The coaster that kicked off this park's amazing history is still there, and it's still going strong. Some people say it's getting too rough, but I think it's fine. Anyway, despite its age, it's right in the middle of just about every category. 8th in pacing, 7th in drop in length, and tied for 6th in speed, matching Mystic Timbers' 53 miles per hour. This is one of those coasters that makes a lot of sense. In 5th place with 58 seconds is Flight of Fear, a Premier Rides launch looper. I had no idea how long this ride was, almost a full minute of indoor looping action, starting with an LIM launch, and then winding through 4 inversions in total darkness. If you've seen those outdoor spaghetti bowl coasters, you know they kinda have funky layouts. They need to make sure the track has all the clearance it needs with all the supports, and that messes with the pacing. It may have to wind around a little bit before diving into the next element. So a 9th place finish in pacing isn't that surprising, finishing between racer and backlot stunt coaster. With all that track inside that enclosed building, it's kind of impressive that it's 8th in length and 9th in height, but up at 5th in speed without launch. In 4th place with 59 seconds is Banshee, a B&M inverted coaster. This thing is huge and long, with 7 inversions, and it's among the top tier when it comes to other B&M inverts in all categories. At a park like Kings Island, it's just one of the pack, making up one of those big 5 coasters that any park would love to have. It's up at 3rd place in pacing, drop, and speed, and 4th in length. I don't think it's a huge surprise which coasters are on top of it, except for maybe this next one, which you all probably forgot about. In 3rd place with 68 seconds is Adventure Express, an Aero Mine Train. So when we say prime ride time, we're talking about time where the ride is doing its thing. Not all prime ride time is equal, since Banshee's 59 seconds are a heck of a lot better than Adventure Express's 68. But this is why we gotta provide context. It's all the way down at 11th in pacing and speed. It has a nice section right out of the station before hitting that first lift, and then the ride ends with that indoor lift back to the station. I took both of these out of the ride time and the track length, and even without those, it still ranks 6th, just behind Mystic Timbers. 68 seconds without the lift hills is still pretty impressive, which just shows you how much time you're actually on the ride in total, about 2.5 minutes. In 2nd place with 69 seconds is Diamondback, a B&M Hyper. Orion pretty much took away all of Diamondback's bragging rights. After 11 years of topping the list in drop, speed, and pacing, it's taken a backseat in all 3 categories, and by a lot. Diamondback's 215-foot drop is no contest for Orion's 300-foot drop. Diamondback does have one thing on Orion though, and that's length. Even though Orion is listed with about 40 more feet than Diamondback, once you take out the lift, brakes, and station, Diamondback has about 270 more feet of prime ride track, so it's 2nd place in every single category across the board. In 1st place with 124 seconds is the Beast, a giant in-house wooden coaster. This wasn't really a fair fight, with nearly a full extra minute of ride time compared to the 2nd place Diamondback, mostly due to its 1st place track length, more than 1,000 feet longer than Diamondback. Between its 2 lift hills, enormous brake run, and pre-lift section, the Beast burns close to 2,000 feet of its 7,359 feet with non-prime track. It's 4th in height and speed, which is pretty good, but it still needs both lift hills to cover all that track. And it's not surprising that it's down at 7th place in pacing, with lots of trim straight track, and spots where the train is cruising through the woods with no sense of urgency. That's a wrap on Kings Island. Let me know if anything here surprised you, or confirmed what you thought was already true. The biggest surprise for me was how long Flight of Fear is. I really thought this would have clocked in between 30 and 40 seconds, and I had to do a double take when it went the full 58 seconds from launch to brakes. And I'm sure you all knew Beast would come in first here, but a full 2 minutes and 4 seconds of actual ride time is absurd, especially considering how long Diamondback is, and that only clocks in at 1 minute and 9 seconds. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and subscribe if you're new here. I have a playlist of other prime ride time videos I've done for other parks, or types of coasters, so that'll be in the links below, where you'll also find my Discord server. Check that out if you want to chat with other fans of the channel, as well as my 2nd channel, which I made for other YouTubers looking for copyright-free footage. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.